Have you ever felt that your brand isn't connecting really from your heart? That something is missing, that you are not really telling your truth and perhaps you're not connecting authentically. People don't see you. Well, maybe your story brand is the one that is not working. Your story brand is the main asset of your brand. It's what makes your brand unique. But sometimes we don't know how to tell our story, our most important asset. This video, I'm going to show you why it's important to clarify your story brand, how to do it. Practical exercise on story brand telling. Super simple, super easy, and super powerful. Why stories? Stories are one of the most fundamental ways which we humans communicate throughout history. Actually, the first job ever created officially, according to the Altamira case, storytellers. Communities need to see good stories, need to be told good stories. So we, as brand owners, need to tell our story in a way that people remember. So why stories? Because they are relevant and that's what people want to hear. What are the components of a good story? Two things. First, emotion, always. If we don't put an emotional footprint in a story, it gets forgotten. Nobody is going to remember. So the key point about story, about an emotional part of a story, that is true. So your story is your main asset because it tells what happened in a very specific point of your life that made you transform in the way that you are now. So the most important thing is to understand what was emotion you went through and how did you move from point A to point E to the transformation where you are right now. Besides having a great emotion as a good footprint of your story, there must be this transformation then. That's the second component. The cognitive part is this real transformation that made you change, that made this positive transformation in you that you want to reflect, to help another person with. So, how do we trigger an emotion? And how do we tell a positive transformation in a simple way? So, here is the practical exercise. Let's make this real. Just take a notebook, have a pause, reflection, take a breath, and just simply write specific moments in your life that made your life what it is, the story that you want to tell. Imagine yourself as a film. Imagine that you are the main role of your favorite film. You want to tell a storyline. This is a film about a ring that needs to be destroyed by a person with a good heart. Let's call it The Lord of the Rings. It's just in one line. Of course, we can add more details, right? Why this ring had to be destroyed. Why a person with a good heart is the only one who can destroy the ring. And so on. But that first line is the one that tells a little bit more information that people want to know more in the end. So take a moment and see what is this tagline of your story. How do you summarize this story brand that you want to tell? Perhaps a potential client, perhaps a real client, perhaps to yourself. This is a starting point of your script. Then we are going to back up that story. So the first fundamental question that I want you to ask yourself is think about the moments that made you change the way you see life. Perhaps because you left your country, perhaps you decided for a career, perhaps you got pregnant, perhaps you got a new job, perhaps you quit your job, perhaps you lost someone. These life transformations are the ones that always teach us something because we go through that. Our bodies go through that. What is important to understand, what was the emotion behind? When I left Colombia, I had only a suitcase. So I actually felt that I was not going to come back. The only emotion that I had was fear. I just had the strongest fear of my life of leaving everything behind for something completely unknown. Taking that flight to London meant so much for me, but I was terrified. But I remember, and I'm very proud of myself, how I went through that and why I went through that. That's what we need to remember. And like that with every important transformation of your life. What was the emotion behind that decision? Why did you do it? And how did you transform yourself from point A to point B? The second important point of your story brand is specifically what problem specifically did you have that you managed to solve? What happened? You are the hero of the story who went through something difficult. That's what people want to know. What was the transformation specifically that you went through? In my case, when I left Colombia, I actually took a lot of debt. I pretty much sold everything that I had, all my savings, in order to study abroad. In the moment where the British pound was as expensive as ever, it was Olympics 2012, and it meant a lot for me. But I went through it. I went through many student jobs because I couldn't afford the life in London, only with my savings. And it was a very vibrant year that taught me a lot. I was scared, yes. My English wasn't perfect, actually. Maybe it is still not perfect. But the point is, I went through a lot to be able to live in London for almost 3 years. I was a waitress. I worked in a frozen yogurt place. I was a student ambassador at Brunel, many different things that now made me proud, because yes, I was scared. Yes, I left Colombia. Yes, I took a big loan. Yes, it felt like a lot of uncertainty, but I never regret it. I did it. And that transformation, that sort of go-getter attitude is the one I tell. Yeah, I take risks. Yes, I like to do things. And I don't regret. Even if I fail, it's the important things that you learn from this. So the problem that I solved for me is to stop doubting, the self-doubt, believing in me, knowing that I was able to do it, and I did it. So that's why also I like to convince many of my clients that it's important to take risks, it's important to jump, and don't doubt so much of yourself, because you're doing great. Even if you fail, that's part of the job. You have to get up, do it, and keep going. And that's the cycle. That's good. The third very important question that I want you to think about when building your story brand is about your core beliefs. What do you believe in your core that others maybe are a little afraid to say? What is what you are not afraid to say? In my case, is the possibility of saying, yes, I can have a business together with my family. Yes, I'm a Colombian living in Vienna, being an expert in emotional intelligence and brand strategy, helping people with clarity and building brands with character. But that was not an easy one in my journey. Now I can say it. Now I am very proud to the things that I've done, but maybe it wasn't that easy for me a year ago to say these things out loud. So we all have something to say that sometimes we don't even believe it, but they are true, they are real, because they are yours. They're your story. And why is it important? Because you need to create your own narrative. You need to believe what you have done. So first, acknowledge your story. Those important moments in your life of transformation are the ones that people really care about, the way you connect. That's how your brand connect with others. It's not about the logo. It's not about the font. That comes later. What is important is this authentic message that you have from the stories that you go through, that you went through with your life, with your body experience. And then you can tell. But you have to have that clear, and then you need to be able to say it, to articulate in a way that people connect. That's very important. Why? People don't buy brands. People actually buy stories. They want to connect with real people. They want to connect with the truth, with authentic people that is out there identifying themselves with them. That's the business we're all in. Your story is not about perfection. It's about truth. It's about your heart. So get a paper, start writing and believe that your story is a great one to tell. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for your comments and see you next time. Bye-bye.